Hi everybody and welcome to today's yoga video. This is going to be a short practice really focused on increasing hamstring flexibility and mobility. You do need a yoga strap or a yoga belt or something that you might have around the house that's long and not really too stretchy. So see what you can find, press pause and then meet me back here on the mat in a moment. So to get started, we're going to spin around and slowly roll down onto your mat or your space, wherever you are. Get comfortable on the floor here for a moment and then hug the knees into the chest. You can give them a gentle squeeze and then relax. Place both hands on the kneecaps, or one hand on each kneecap, and do some circles with the knees, taking them wide and then back around into the middle. And do a few times in a clockwise direction. And then go back in the other direction. Just gently adding some movement, some warmth into the hips. Good. And then from here, place the hands down on the ground and just stretch one leg at a time up into the air. And kind of flex and point the toes and do some kind of circle with the toes as well, circles. Good for the ankles and the feet, getting some movement in here. And then just do a few bicycles. So going a few times in one direction, then reverse the bicycle. Good. Go back the other direction and then reverse again. So we're just warming up the hamstrings a little bit here. Good. So let's slowly bring the feet down to the floor and then just take hold of your yoga belt or strap. And we're going to start with the right foot, keeping the left foot on the ground bent. You're going to place the strap over the padded area of the right foot behind the toes, so not onto the arch of the foot. Now just to begin with, rest the elbows, use the full extent of the strap and rest the elbows on the ground. This way we're not straining with our upper body and we're really focusing on the feelings and sensations we get in the hamstrings and into the hip. Just notice where you feel things. We don't want to feel any stretching behind the back of the knee, so keep a little micro bend in the leg if your hamstrings are tight like mine. And so what we're going to do first of all is just point and flex the toe, gently encouraging the toes towards your face with the belt. But we're not really pulling too much here, it's just some gentle movement. And then you can also take the foot from left to right. Good. And then draw the knee into the chest and gently push it away, feeling some gentle resistance with the strap. And as you do this, and as you kind of get used to the movement, see if you can then squeeze the quad and feel the knee moving away from you. So squeeze, and that's definitely quite an intense movement. So we're just going to do it a few more times. Squeeze. We're not really focusing too much on the foot. The strap is guiding it towards you. But see if you can squeeze the quad and think of the knee as lifting up and away. Good. One more time, squeeze the quad. It's very subtle, very small movement. Good. And then bring the knee into your chest, just to relax it for a moment. Now kick the heel away up towards the sky. Draw the toes gently in towards you. Take a nice big inhale. And on the exhale, see if you can just gently guide the toes towards you. Good. Kicking the heel up and see if you can keep that a little bit of strength in the quad, lifting the knee away. And we're just going to guide that toe in towards you. Breathe nice and deeply. Try not to hold your breath. Inhale. Exhale, draw in a little bit more. Try to keep the lower back and the back of the pelvis pressed into the floor here and feel the stretch coming all the way through from where the hamstring is attached. Really, it's going to be more in the belly of the hamstrings, right in the middle. If you feel anything tight behind the knee or up here, relax and rest for a moment. Good. Now we're going to take the strap into the left hand, use the right hand on the ground as an anchor, and slowly draw that foot over to the left, just across your midline. Now it might not go very far, and don't worry, what we're doing is stretching the outside of the right hip and into the outside of the hamstrings. Again, you can kick the heel away, you may be able to draw the toes towards you, but really don't force anything here. We're encouraging Some gentle movement and some gentle stretching. Let's hold. Breathe nice and deeply. Try to keep the right hip glued as much as possible. It's going to lift up off the floor a little bit, but we don't want to be rolling over. So try to think the back of the pelvis is anchored to the ground. Good, one more inhale. Exhale, bring the leg back to center. Now switch the strap into your right hand. Place the left hand on the floor or on your hip as an anchor. And we're going to take the right leg out to the side, but again, keeping the left hip and the back of the left pelvis really glued to the floor. So don't worry if it doesn't go too far, or maybe you find a little bit more opening in this direction. Again, you can kick the heel away, press the quad, draw the toes towards you. So really make an active stretch here. We're using the muscles to support the movements. Breathe nice and deeply. Let's take one more inhale. Exhale, come back to center. Good. Now to switch over to the other side, you're going to take the left foot up and transfer the strap over to the left foot. Bring the right foot down to the ground. Keeping the knee bent and the right foot flat on the floor as an anchor, and also to avoid overstretching into the right hip flexor. If you feel more comfortable with the leg on the ground, that's fine. But because I really want you to focus on the hamstrings and what's happening there, I'm going to keep my knee bent because that allows me to do that. So again, first of all, I'm just going to point and flex the toe. And you can take the foot from side to side. Just kind of gently encouraging some movement here. It's actually a great version of legs up the wall here as well. So it's kind of a nice way to relieve the pressure on the joints, kind of getting away from gravity pulling you down now, so you might feel some kind of lightness in the leg. Good. And then we're going to slowly kind of draw the knee in and kick the heel up and away towards the ceiling. So a little bit of pressure with the strap, but again, we're really not pulling too much. It's there just as a helping guide. And the next time you do this, really try and squeeze the quad and think of the kneecap as going up and away from you. So we're really using that quad here, making it a nice isometric stretch. Good. Kick the heel up away, squeeze the quad, draw the toes in. Let's do that one more time. Really squeeze the quad. Good. And then bend the knee and let that just relax for a moment. Good. Okay, now I'm going to kick the heel up. And we're just going to flex the toes down, kick the heel up, and gently draw the foot towards you. Now, I remember doing this in high school, and you would have a partner who would be doing the kind of the pushing for you. I really don't want you to think of it as intense as that may have been. We're looking for a more subtle stretch here. Again, try and keep the back of the pelvis rooted to the floor, so we're not lifting up and pulling back. We're just really thinking of extending the full hamstring, but feeling the stretch still more in the belly of the hamstrings. Again, if you feel any tightness behind the knee or right down on the back of the pelvis, just bend your knee and take that pressure away. Engaging the glute helps to make this a safer stretch, and you're also going to be toning the glute at the same time and working this whole complex rather than just kind of really forcing the hamstring. Good. Let's take one more breath here and then slowly relax for a moment. Transfer the belt to the right hand. Use the left hand on the floor as a guide if you like, and anchor, and slowly let that left foot drift over to the right until you feel a stretch across maybe the edge of the right hip. It's going to be a little bit of a passive IT band stretch here as well, so try to think of the hamstrings more. To do that, kick the heel away, draw the toes in, and really try to keep that left glute and back of the hip on the floor. You can draw the foot in towards you slowly, breathe. Good, let's take one more breath in. And exhale, back to center. Switch the strap to your left hand, place the right hand on the floor as an anchor, and slowly let that left foot drop. So gravity is going to be helping you here. Try to avoid rolling with it. Try to keep the right hip glued to the floor. Your left elbow can help you here as an anchor as well. And just feel a nice stretch down inside of that left leg and into the left hamstring. Kick the heel away again, draw the toes in towards you and see if you can just get a slightly deeper stretch. Doesn't have to be too much to be beneficial. Just breathe. We don't want to be grimacing or feeling that we're protecting ourselves, because that will actually trigger different sensations and reactions in the body. So in a way, you want to try and relax in here for a little bit. And you can switch back and forth between relaxing and then actively squeezing the quad and drawing the leg in. It's a nice way to kind of see how the body moves and reacts, and the differences you can work on when you practice this at home. Good. Let's take one more inhale. Exhale, bring the leg back to center. Bend that left knee, take the strap, and just gently now come down to the ground with the knees out to the side, or if you like, with the legs stretched out in front of you. Place the back of the hands on the ground so the palms are facing up, and just close the eyes for a moment and become aware of the warmth in the legs, in the hips. Kind of let the body relax now so that the benefits of this exercise can move through the body. Take some nice big breaths of air in and out, helping to boost your circulation. Good. And you're welcome to stay here for a few more minutes. If you're ready to move, we're going to bend the knees and slowly roll over onto your side. Make your way up to sitting. And just bring the legs into an easy cross-legged position, or stretch the legs out in front. Just to take a few moments to reflect and be grateful for this practice. Thank you for joining us today. Stretch out your hamstrings. Have a wonderful day. The athlete in me honors the athlete in you.